So it's about the root structure, it's about the never-changing law. So based on this agricultural metaphor, I found an interesting statistic. From 1948 to 2002, the amount of farmable acreage in America did not increase. It remained the same for more than 50 years. However, the productivity and amount of crops harvested from those same acres increased by 3.5 times in the same time period. Isn't that interesting? We cannot exceed potential, whether it be in land, resources, or in ourselves. However, we can exceed expectations. And by planting the seeds of higher expectations, the farmers brought forth fruits of excessive productivity. Any of you know the story of the Chinese bamboo tree? It's so applicable to so many of us in this ballroom. You plant the seed of the Chinese bamboo tree and you water it and fertilize it, and after the first year there's no sign of growth. Any of you remember being a little child, or any of you have little children where they scuff their knee or their elbow and there's kind of a little cut, and so you put a Band-Aid on it, you put a little bandage on it, and you say, don't touch it, it's going to get better. And after about 2 days, our children are so curious, they're like, it's not getting better yet. And they just rip off the scab, put it on again 2 days later, it's not getting any better. Yep, they rip off the scab. Chinese bamboo tree, 1 year, no sign of growth. Second year, water and fertilizer, still no sign of growth. After 8 years, there's not one bump in the ground. There's no witness, there's no green leaf sticking its head through the dirt. 8 years you water it and fertilize it, and you're like, are you kidding me? And in the 9th year, in 100 days, it grows to its full height of 98 feet. In 100 days, 3.5 months. How many of us are like the Chinese bamboo tree? We invest in ourselves, we think we learn to know, when in reality we learn to do, and then we give up on ourselves because someone else, Yusuf, is changing at a different rate than we are, so we're like, oh, I'm not as good as they are. And we give up on ourselves, not knowing that we're digging those roots deeper in search of the nutrition, of the water in the desert, so that eventually we can stand tall and straight and strong and true and be significant to those around us who need our strength. I wouldn't be standing here today if I had not had friends, Ahmed, who were stronger than I when I was going through my paralysis, who said, Clark, get knocked down 7, get up 8. Old Chinese proverb, get knocked down 7 times, get back up 8. You can't give up. Never say never. So the 12 highest universal laws of life-changing leadership that now replace the 12 principles that I had you discuss and define amongst yourselves are as follows. They're in your book. I'm so proud of them. Law number 1, practice obedience instead of free will agency. Law number 2, exercise perseverance instead of patience. Number 3, law number 3, proactively and intentionally stretch instead of change. Law number 4, trust predictability instead of hope and faith. Whoa. Law number 5, know the whole truth instead of believing what you think. Law number 6, focus on winning instead of team. Law number 7, do right instead of seeking to be best. Law number 8, experience harmony instead of forcing balance. Law number 9, accept others instead of judging them. Law number 10, love and be needed instead of romance and used. Law number 11, establish covenants instead of making commitments, which will validate everything that you were saying, but being held back by this word commitment because you didn't understand the full meaning of covenant. And then law number 12, forgive instead of apologize. The art of significance. ART is an acronym, A-R-T. A represents awareness, information gathering. What do we know? R, refinement. How do we better what we know? How do we take what we know and apply it to what we need to accomplish? And the T in art, transformation. And you'll notice in this piece of artwork that I have all 12 of these highest universal laws of life-changing leadership in order. The first 4, obedience, perseverance, stretch, and trust predictability, are a part of the awareness. Going right into harmony, doing right, winning, and seeking whole truth. Seeking whole truth in the refinement. And then the last 4, acceptance, love and be needed, covenant, and forgiveness. The deepest comprehension of the art of significance is illuminated through the three-phase question and answer interactive experience known as ART. When our awareness grows and expands to the whole and complete truth about who you are with the knowledge of things as they really are, you then can and should focus on the refinement of your identity, purpose, beliefs, and actions that manifest those beliefs, which immediately amalgamates into the transformation process that turns your success into significance, which takes you back into the never-ending expansion. And you notice it's a never-ending cycle of significance. As the circle of art continues to refine through continuous understanding your significant transformation, which is the emotional application. So, who do you know who is significant? On the left, it's Bob Proctor. Met him from day one in the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. He's the one that spearheaded the movie and the book called The Secret, which is about the law of attraction that even Father Abraham taught the world. Likes attract likes. He's significant. Sheikh Nahyan in the middle, one of my dear friends, royal family from UAE. As the Commissioner of Higher Education at UAE, he just stepped down and he's doing some other things now in charge of youth development, which I think is really cool. And the wealthiest man in India, who is so philanthropic, he's always funding the most amazing charitable humanitarian causes. And Swamiji, we went to the cricket game at Sheikh Nahyan Stadium in UAE. He's listed as one of the 100 top saints from India and one of the greatest human beings I've ever met. Who do you know who is significant? And here's the question that I want you to discuss at your table now. Are you wealthy, healthy, and happy? Should you have all of them? Is it enough to just have one of them? And here's where we become a little bit more vulnerable in the table discussion, because here are the questions as we, discuss before we go to the next lunch break. If you are wealthy and not healthy, you are financially successful, but are you happy and significant? Think about it. Question number 2, if you are healthy and unable to feed your family and pay your bills, you are physically successful, but are you happy and significant? Don't we know maybe some of us are guilty of both of these? Oh my gosh, I'm healthy, but I feel this, whatever. Question number 3, if you are wealthy and healthy, but the people you care most about don't care about you, you are successful, but are you happy and significant? In America, we have an interesting statistic that it troubles me, and it opens my eyes and sheds light on what I'm talking about, what I now believe about success and significance. We have a 50% divorce rate in America. A lot of cultures and a lot of theologies, a lot of religions frown on divorce. We know that about each other. In America, we have a 50% divorce rate in America, 64% divorce rate in second marriages, 72% divorce rate in third marriages, and a 90% divorce rate in fourth marriages. Which means a geographic relocation doesn't solve anything. We cannot run, and some of us have no right to run because it's in our culture. The country song is very applicable. No matter where you go, there you are. We can't run from ourselves. The mirror is always in front of us. And the last question, if you have a wonderful, loving, close-knit family and great and loyal friends who care about you but can't pay your bills, you are a successful family man, family woman, but are you happy and significant? Absolutely not. Only the significant are truly happy. The significant are valued and needed by those whom they love, financially able to provide for their needs, and physically able to playfully engage with them and protect them. So let's get the discussion rolling just quickly again. We have how many minutes? 10 minutes? I couldn't see that. It said 15? 5? Does that say 5 or 15 or 20? So let's take 4.5 minutes now that you know each other a little better. And let's discuss these questions, which I'll backlog again. Is it enough to be wealthy and nothing else? Is it enough to be healthy and nothing else? Is it enough to be a great family man, a great family woman, and nothing else? Or is it better to figure out a way to live our lives in significance so that we're wealthy, healthy, and happy? Please get the discussion going, and let's get some feedback after lunch. Maybe it will change the conversation at lunch. A lot of people are selling out. As you saw in my video, I've interviewed some of the most famous, wealthiest, most powerful people on our planet who are sad, who have no happiness or joy. They have so much wealth and no one to share it with. They're miserable at home because no one wants to communicate, and we just do the things that our traditions tell us to do. So let's get some discussion going, and we'll be very sensitive to the time because lunch is waiting. Again, wealthy, healthy, happy. Let's get the discussion going at your table. What is most important out of those three? And what do you think you can do to enhance all three of them to take your life from successful to significant? Let me prime the pump. Sometimes we go to work, and no matter what we think or how we behave because of the structure at work, it causes us to be dysfunctional because we have no way to figure out a way to carve out more time during the day, whatever we have to do. So please, talk about wealthy, healthy, happy. What's most important? How can you have all of them to create a life of significance?